Hi there, class. So, my name is Ramon Bolaños, and I am a Cal Poly student. And today we're going to be talking about crop diversity experiment towards a mechanistic understanding of the benefits of species diversity in annual crop systems. So, let's start with the abstract. Taking inspiration from the grasslands biodiversity research, studying the impact of plant diversity and primary productivity, the study sought to establish whether crop mixtures have a positive impact on annual crop systems and whether these crop mixtures could achieve average yields higher than the most productive monoculture setups, referred to as transgressive over yielding. The 3-year study revealed that using crop mixtures that led to higher yields than monoculture setups and even achieve a transgressive over yielding. These benefits of crop mixtures were found to be most prominent under stressful environment conditions and often arose when humans were involved. Some of the reasons identified as being behind these benefits are direct mechanisms such as the crops being complementary in resource use, and direct mechanisms such as in chance weed suppression and involve soil microbial activity. Crop diversity was identified as a sustainable approach for increasing overall productivity. As you can see, I have posted a picture about wheat here, wheat farms. Let's start with the introduction. Uh, Shaba were inspired by grassland studies that showed that plant ecosystems exhibit higher functioning when there was more biodiversity harvest. They established that it would be necessary to investigate if this same that it would be necessary to investigate if this same phenomenon applied for human-made ecosystems such as crop farms and forest plantations. This needed ex- this needed exists because arable crop systems are fundamentally different from the perennial grassland system used in the previous studies. To further enrich the knowledge, I also found it important to attempt to determine the mechanisms which made to crop diversification led to more diverse outcomes, and to establish that there were contextual and environmental factors that could possibly monitor the relationship between crop diversity and productivity. So let's go with the methods and materials. The experiment was conducted from 2018 to 2020 on a site in Spain and another in Switzerland, which they had a Mediterranean climate and a temperate climate. The experiments were set up in gardens with rice beds, 1 m wide and 7 to 10 m long, in standard agricultural soil for locally being used, and with the beds open at the bottom and placed on naturally occurring soil. Each bed was composed of plots measuring 0.5 m by 0.5 m, which each plot having either monocultures, two uh, two species mixtures, or four species mixtures. There was a total of 24 to two species mixtures and 12 different four species mixtures. The crops included in the study that were wheat, oats, lentil, lupine, linseed, camellia, quinoa, which is eventually excluded, and coriander. Each combination of the crop was planted in a 0.25 square meter plot and slowly was done by hand every year, and every early February in Spain and early April in Switzerland, while harvesting was done in June and between mid-July and mid-August in Spain and Switzerland. Respectively, yield measurements and assessments of the complementary effects were conducted annually. Other various treatments such as soil fertility treatments, local adaptation treatment, repetitive harvest treatment, and co-assisted treatments were also tested during the experiment. Let's go to our results now. So you can see yields consistently increases with crop diversity, but were affected by contextual factors such as applications of fertilizer. Monocultures average a yield of 2.02, while two species mixture yield 2.56, 27% increase, and four species mixtures yield at 3.00, that's 49% increase. This option was true for crops in both the experimental sites. However, yields were higher in Switzerland than in Spain due to environmental differences. This important This improvement in yield with species diversity is represented in figure 1 below. So let's see, you can see the red is no fertilizer, the yes is fertilizer, Switzerland and Spain. You can see the yield, which is 0 to 5, and it goes to 1 to 4 on both of the ends. They had similarities in the land equivalent ratio, which quantity efficiency and land resource use increased significantly with increased crop diversity, reaching values as high as 1.39 in Spain and 1.35 in Switzerland. Four species crop mixture without fertilizer. The relationship between that land equivalent ratio, species diversity, and show as shown in Figure 2, which you guys can see, there's a change in the land equivalent ratio for the fertilizer no and fertilizer yes, and it moves a bit longer. So there's a transgender over yielding occur in multiple mixtures, especially those involving lignins. So let's have the discussions and conclusions. Crop diversity significantly improves yields and efficient resource utilization as indicated by higher land equivalent ratio. Values in annual cropping system, productivity and effectivity in source utilization are important to crop farming since they make the operation to be economically sound. The findings from this study confirm similar findings from a perennial grassland biodiversity studies, paving the way for application of the research of these studies in the cultivation of crops. These improvements in the yield and efficiency in the resource utilization are tied to direct mechanisms such as complementary nutrients and water uptake. The improvements are also tied to indirect mechanisms such as enchant wheat, suppression and enrichment of the soil with useful microbes. Overall, given these findings, it is clear that crop mixtures, especially those that include pigments, are often a sustainable agricultural strategy to boost productivity across different environmental conditions. Sorry about that. So you guys can see I posted a picture about lentils here. So yeah, this is my poster, and like I said, it's crop diversity experiment towards a mechanistic understanding of the benefits of species diversity in annual crop systems. And my contact information is Ramon Bolaños Barbosa, organization is a Cal Poly student. Email is ramonb@cpp.edu, and phone is 442-867-7402. You guys can contact me if you guys have any questions. Thank you.